Live, local, now. This is the News at 11.
The whole roof is gone from it, you know. And that's what hurts, you know, that you got to start all over again. And that is gone. It's like just blowing it up in the air and going away.
Devastating stuff coming out of Texas. Residents across the state dealing with a lot of debris and destruction tonight. We now know one person is dead. That fatality coming out of the city of Rockport. The person died during a house fire during that storm. The storm also injured 14 other people. Harvey has now been downgraded to a tropical storm. It made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. That rain could continue for days and be measured in feet. Right now, we want to go to Cutter Martin, who's been tracking this storm all week long.
And unfortunately, fears are kind of being realized tonight. We're seeing that heavy rain and tornado event really unfold before our eyes. Right now, you can see southeast Texas, the circulation still basically just stalled, and moisture being drug up from the Gulf of Mexico and really being wrung out here. Already 5 to 7 inches of rain falling in a few spots of the Houston metro within the past single hour alone. So disastrous situation out there. And also shifting focus a little bit here locally. We're tracking Invest 92L just to our south and to our west. It's over land, and it's not likely to strengthen here over the next 12 to 24 hours, but moving off to the north and off to the east, it will reemerge over the southwestern Atlantic. And the latest from the National Hurricane Center giving this a 40% chance of developing into something tropical within the next 2 days through early next week, and a 50% chance within the next 5 days. So once again, we're watching it. It won't be too far offshore. The main impact, though, I think is going to be to bring tropical moisture back into the region. Scattered heavy showers, also increasing the risk for rip currents and maybe some rougher seas. Again, we're still breaking down the latest data. We will be updating you and possibly some of the forecast details here over the next couple of days. Out the door tomorrow morning, though, scattered showers in the forecast. Your impacts 4 out of 10. More rain, some of it heavy, though, tomorrow afternoon. Right, I will help you back with that complete forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Cutter. A lot of video obviously coming out of the region. Here's some video from Houston where several roads are underwater. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is warning people that he's calling for potentially very dramatic flooding. He's originally declared a state of emergency for 30 counties. That's now been upgraded to 50. He says the biggest concern is the chance of water being 20 to 30 inches high. Let's give you a sense of how much that rain has hit that region already. Take a look at these before and after pictures. The photo on the left was taken Friday. The photo on the right was taken today. The White Oak Bayou in Houston rose 14 feet in just 6 hours. Weather officials expect it to hit major flood stage sometime tonight. Members of the Coast Guard in Texas braved dangerous conditions earlier today to rescue people stranded on ships because of what's now Tropical Storm Harvey. 2 helicopter air crews reached 17 people on ships that sent out distress calls. Those ships were taking on water and appeared to be sinking near Aransas Pass. Some had to be rescued from a tugboat and another vessel in the same area. Those who needed saving are now in good condition. Newly released drone video shows that devastation in Rockport, Texas. You can see the widespread flooding, overturned mobile homes, and destroyed buildings. As we said before, one person in that city has been killed. Officials fear there could be more fatalities. About 5,000 people chose not to evacuate. One survivor says she did not think she'd live through this storm.
It rocked and rolled, sweetie, and it scared me an inch in my life, I can guarantee you that. And I've never seen such devastation all over this town in Aransas Pass in my life. I was very scared that I would die like that, and I didn't want to die that way. If I'm going to go...
One official there had warned those who chose to remain to write their social security numbers on their arms. This would be so they could have an easier time identifying the dead. President Trump is thanking all volunteers helping in Texas. He also held an hour-long teleconference call from Camp David with White House officials. The president says he wants to travel to Texas as soon as possible to show support. Earlier, he took to Twitter to thank food bank volunteers who are assisting the victims. More incredible video here. This coming out of Cypress, Texas. It's one of at least a dozen tornadoes caused by Harvey. You can also see a lot of water building up in a nearby neighborhood. And our own Tasia Reed took video of the damage following that tornado. You can see there are downed trees and damaged homes. All of this as residents are still trying to get a grasp on the extent of the damage. You can find more of this video by heading to Tasia Reed's Facebook page. Another place where you'll be able to find more damage is by heading to our website, WTOC.com. We have a story posted on our homepage. It includes pictures and videos of the storm's aftermath, as well as reaction from government officials. We'll have more on Harvey a little later in the show. The Atlanta Falcons making history today, the team playing its first of many games at the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium. A sold-out crowd came out to watch a preseason game. This as the Dirty Birds took on the Arizona Cardinals. More than 70,000 people were in attendance. The $1.5 billion venue will also be home to the Atlanta United soccer team. It will also host WWE events, the 2019 Super Bowl, and next week's Alabama-Florida State football game. Ken Greiner will have more on tonight's game coming up a little later in sports. Today marks 2 weeks since the Charlottesville attack. For some in Savannah, they say time will not fix what happened. Savannah's chapter of Black Lives Matter recently announced plans for a 6-week protest. They say this is just the beginning. Our Danielle Lawan joins us. Danielle, you met with their advisor today. When are they looking to start these protests?
Right, that's the thing. The organization says they're in the planning stages, as a 6-week protest needs a lot of preparation. No details of where or when you can expect this to begin, but they do say they're fully prepared if things get ugly. If you're interested in being part of their call to action, you can find Black Lives Matters of Savannah, their contact information on our website at WTOC.com. Again, no set details on this 6-week protest, but WTOC will continue to follow the story. For now, Danielle Lawan, WTOC News.
Police in Buffalo, New York are looking for the person who vandalized a statue of Christopher Columbus. The statue was covered in red paint. The city's anti-graffiti team is on cleanup duty and looking for any clues. A statue of Columbus in Baltimore was also damaged last week. The suspects in that case called the monument racist. A planned right-wing rally in San Francisco has been called off. That did not stop counter-protesters from showing up, though. This was the scene today in the city's Alamo Square Park. The counter-protesters had planned to rally against the so-called Patriot Prayer event. The event organizer canceled it, citing inadequate security measures. Instead, they held what it called an indoor news conference. The counter-protesters opted then to hold their own victory rally outside the park.
South Carolina, November, Charlie Yankee 852 NCY.
We're getting a look at new video tonight of a high-speed chase in Yemassee earlier this month. Back on August 12th, 24-year-old Taiwan Terry was arrested. Police say he failed to pull over after running a stop sign. They add that he sped off at speeds higher than 100 miles an hour. He later got out of that car and ran into a mobile home. Police arrested him a short time after that. Coming up, Harvey may no longer be a hurricane, but it's left a lot of residents devastated. We'll have more reaction as homeowners now have to deal with the storm's aftermath.